What's up, guys? Welcome into Clippers Talk, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios. I know it's late night. I don't know who's going to join me here, but since I'm going to be talking about the Clippers in the next segment, I thought I would stream it for you here on Clippers Talk because I think you guys are going to be interested in this story. It crosses over from all the NFL stuff I've been talking about today, and we had Petros Papadakis on the show. Law Murray came on earlier. You'd be interested in what he said. So in the comment section, I will post a link to this show on Fox Sports Radio. You can find it on your iHeartRadio app at Follow Adam A on X right now. I put the streaming link in there if you want to listen to the rest of the show. But regardless, it's Clippers Talk After Dark. I want to do this story, and I thought I'd bring it to you guys here. We'll do a simulcast. So I'm on Fox Sports Radio, but I'm talking about the Clippers, so it's good content for Clippers Talk. Clippers Talk After Dark. We might be related. Big Money Saul says to Thomas. Elijah's in here. Two birds, one stone here. Did I do a read last segment, Bree? I don't think I did. All right, guys, coming back here in a minute, and then I will tell you about Adam Silver. Can't believe there's this many people on this late at night. I'm doing 4 hours solo tonight. I'm enjoying it. You know, some people think this song's called Rat in a Cage, but it's actually Bullet with Butterfly Wings. A little more poetic there from Billy Corgan on what I would say is their greatest album and maybe the greatest album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness here. As we're listening to the Smashing Pumpkins as we return on Fox Sports Radio. It's Fox Football Sunday. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, we got Stranger Than Fiction for you. Remember, for the best pregame show every weekend, be sure to tune in to Fox Sports Radio's Countdown to Kickoff presented by BetMGM. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, we will count you down to all the biggest games for 3 hours right up until kickoff for all the best plays and up to the second injury news. Tune in to Countdown to Kickoff presented by BetMGM every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app. I have teased it enough. It is time to talk about the commish. So if you didn't know, the Clippers are being investigated by the NBA for cap circumvention. All this stems from Pablo Torre, formerly of the Evil Four Letter, slow dripping his findings of a seven-month-long investigation. It appears his stuff is well-sourced. I don't know. He's got 3,000 pages. But it doesn't mean that his conclusion of Steve Ballmer was rerouting money to Kawhi is true. First, the allegations were about Steve Ballmer donating $50 million and Kawhi ending up with $48 million from this company, Aspiration. which was a green company, reversing your carbon footprint. And then Mark Cuban started challenging Pablo to find some carbon credits because the Clippers could hide money easier or more easily there. And Pablo did find some of those. And then it became this back and forth where it feels like it's Pablo Torre versus Mark Cuban a little bit more than it's Pablo Torre versus the Clippers. And he wants to be presented as a well-respected journalist. And this is just a different way to go about that endeavor and that profession now by doing it through podcasting, podcast journalism. But the NBA is looking into this now. Pablo Torre got the ball rolling. The NBA is looking into it. Now, what we did find out this week is that the NBA is not moving the All-Star game from Intuit Dome. And they also haven't contacted Pablo Torre regarding their investigation. But ultimately here, this is about Adam Silver and who he is as a commissioner and what his motivations could be. Now, what do you think about when you think about your legacy? Maybe you think about being a family man or woman, your career. Do people know you off of that? What defines you? It's what you do that defines you. Rachel told Christian Bale in Batman Begins, I think about what people associate me with. Radio, the Clippers. Believe me, Adam Silver thinks about how people will remember his tenure as the commissioner of the association. And not just that, but how it relates and compares and contrasts to David Stern's tenure. Stern is credited by making superstars household names and building the worldwide brand that the NBA has become. He's known best for marketing stars. David Stern also has, some skeletons in the closet, you could say, with possibly rigged drafts and a frozen envelope to get stars to move to certain markets. Meanwhile, to this point, Adam Silver, for the most part, is known for kicking Donald Sterling out of the league, banning him for life. Adam Silver said that with, his thin bat-like chest to keep the Batman theme going, or because some call him a vampire. It's wrong. But that was his crowning achievement to this point, and something much appreciated by Clipper Nation, believe me. But the negatives with Adam Silver are brought up by his detractors, and they would be this: declining ratings due to a variety of reasons, and some stuff outside of his control, like legacy media dying and our viewership and listenership being more divided than ever. It's more of a challenge now. The NBA back on NBC this year will not have the same ratings as it did in the 90s, not just because there's 300 more channels to look at, but because of YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all those other outlets to consume content. We're streaming right now on iHeartRadio. It's all counter programming, and it can be competitive. Silver is also associated with the load management era. I would argue he's just at a disadvantage because if you read the science and listen to the actual doctors about this stuff, not many like to do that. Instead of just, being dumbass weekend warriors and saying, no players, they just aren't as tough as they used to be back in my day. That's all it is. The real reason is kids are at more of a risk for injury in youth sports because of specialization and overtraining, meaning by the time some of them become pros, there's far less tread on the tires. And if you don't believe me, there is a great article by the Evil Four Letter in 2018 titled, "These Kids Are Ticking Time Bombs, the Threat of Youth Basketball." So I don't necessarily hold that against Adam Silver. But aside from this, one of Silver's problems might be self-inflicted. He is diverting from the path of his predecessor in this way. He doesn't favor dynasties. I bring this up a lot, but David Stern once said his dream finals matchup was the Lakers versus the Lakers. Does that sound like a commissioner looking out for the little guy? And during, his tenure, there were many sketchy playoff games that were strangely officiated, you could say, where people think it was fixed, or in favor of the larger market team for them to go deeper into the playoffs because it made the NBA more money. Well, guess what we just saw in the NBA Finals this past year? The OKC Thunder winning a championship over the Indiana Pacers, 2 small market teams. And we've also had 7 different champions the last 7 seasons. And unlike David Stern, Adam Silver views this as a positive for the league. His belief is you need to get the greatest amount of fans invested in the product. So you have to make as many possible fan bases believe going into a season that they have a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. He is in favor of parity. He's not dynasty hunting like David Stern was, where one team could define a decade. Silver wants diversity in champions. The more teams involved every year means more fans are going out to see their teams play, to watch them, to buy their merchandise, to help grow the league and fill the owners' pockets. That's what's happening. Look, I'm just saying, it's not about having opposing fans hate watching one team they've grown tired of seeing win every year, like maybe you were with the Golden State Warriors or the Lakers at one point, or even the Spurs, even going back to the Bulls or the Celtics. Those were dynasties. David Stern was in favor of that. Silver wants to be more inclusive and grow the pot by getting more teams involved. And that means not catering to larger markets. And because of what Stern helped do with Marketing Stars so well and the different ways we can watch our favorite teams now, even if they aren't in your city, it's not hard for SGA, even in OKC, to have multiple endorsement deals. So having to go to New York or LA to build your brand, that's not necessary anymore, which plays into Silver's dream of supreme parity, where you could throw a dart at a board going into every season and maybe that team it landed on wins, because who knows, it could be anyone. It's the same reason he's expanded the playoffs, for more teams to have a chance in being featured in more meaningful games. Same reason he's trying this in-season tournament. So even if you didn't win the Larry O.B., he wants you to have some pride in winning a different trophy. The Emirates Cup, yay. Sound the party kazoo here. It's like, oh, Emirates Cup, yeah. The more things to win, the more you can have pride in your team, and more likely you are to invest in your team and the NBA product, and therefore, the more the league grows monetarily. Are you following me here? Now, you might ask yourself, all right, Adam, how does this relate to the Clippers investigation going on? Well, the reason Adam Silver has talked about salary cap circumvention being the cardinal sin in the NBA is because that would mean teams could have unfair advantages, which could lead to less parity. The parity that he so desperately craves. That would undermine everything we just talked about. If the allegations turn out to be true, and that's all they are right now, allegations, he may not use the velvet hammer on the Clippers. He may go with Thor's hammer to punish them instead, so he can make an example out of them and scare any other team away from even thinking about circumventing the cap in the future. Because, hey, this is what could happen to you. Just look at how hard I hit the Clippers. He could turn it into, I don't know, the NBA's death penalty. If the Clippers are found guilty of cap circumvention, this would seem to be an affront to everything Adam Silver is trying to build by having the most fair and level playing field in sports, so he can tell fans you have a reason to believe in your team and be invested in this league because anyone can win this championship. We no longer favor big markets and dynasties. This ain't David Stern's NBA. This ain't your grandfather's NBA. I'm putting my mark on the association, and you will remember that. This is my legacy. Many could be looking at Adam Silver in this very moment and how he handles it. This could be a career-defining decision, a legacy-defining verdict. Now, when it comes to the Clippers and what's happened in the past, I'm not talking about Donald Sterling, but more recent past, I guess this was 1 year later, They were investigated in 2015 for negotiating with DeAndre Jordan with a third party in their free agency pitch, and they were fined $250,000. They were also investigated in 2019 after landing Kawhi, as Uncle Dennis, who kind of manages him, was asking for sweeteners, allegedly. The NBA, they didn't find any wrongdoing there, but what they did say was that should anything else arise, they could go back and reopen that investigation. Now, the good news is, this time around for the Clippers, Adam Silver has made it clear that he believes in due process, and while the NBA is not a court of law, you're still innocent until proven guilty. Adam Silver said the burden of proof in the Kawhi Clipper situation is on the league. Quote, our investigators look at the totality of the evidence. If there was the mere appearance of impropriety, I would be hesitant to act, unquote. If there was the mere appearance of impropriety, well, that's kind of where outside fans are coming from. Oh, look, we're connecting dots. It sure looks like something happened. I don't know. There's mountains of circumstantial evidence. The mere appearance of impropriety, he would be hesitant to act. That wording is interesting because according to the CBA bylaws, cap circumvention may be proven by, quote, direct or circumstantial evidence, including but not limited to evidence that a player contract or any term or provision thereof cannot rationally be explained. So when Adam Silver says, if there was the mere appearance of impropriety, I would be hesitant to act, is he saying he needs direct evidence and would not punish if it was just circumstantial because it's up to his discretion? Kind of. There's another part to this. Adam Silver is here to serve the owners. A lot of layers. George Costanza said it before. It's like an onion. The more you peel it, the more it stinks. Adam Silver serves the owners. He works for the owners. And this is a strange predicament, and we talked about it with Law Murray a little bit earlier, but it's this dynamic where the people he works for, sometimes he has to punish. Punishing his bosses makes this a very interesting dynamic. There's a couple former bosses I'd like to punish sometimes. Everybody feels like that. For Silver, though, it matters in getting the pulse of what the owners want out of this. Are they afraid of what's hiding in their own closets? Law Murray mentioned that earlier. Would he be hesitant to punish one because, would someone else be next? Like, they got skeletons. They got their own issues. Or do they see Ballmer, the fifth or sixth richest person in the world, it changes all the time, is having advantages over them? And maybe they think he needs to be severely punished if the evidence looks bad enough in the NBA's investigation. After all, these same owners, they helped hammer out the latest CBA, which was essentially aimed at Steve Ballmer and the other biggest spenders to stop them from going into the luxury tax by implementing these punitive aprons. Second apron. You got to stay away from it. It's scary. It is Eli Roth horror film. While it's just one opinion, Suns owner Matt Ishbia said a couple of weeks ago about the NBA's investigation with the Clippers, quote, I'm not that concerned about it, to be honest. I know Steve Ballmer, and I think he's a great guy. He says he didn't do that, and I believe him. Steve Ballmer seems to be well-liked by the other owners, but they and everyone else will want to see what the NBA's investigation comes up with. I am reserving judgment. I'm rooting for the truth to come out. As Petros Money would say, got to root for the truth. Whatever the truth may be. I can handle the truth, Jack. I can. The code red. If the Clippers are guilty, they will be disciplined, and they should be. We need fairness and a level playing field. And if any team is paying a player outside of his NBA salary under the table, That goes against the competitive integrity of the league that Adam Silver wants to create. Some sources have said this won't be resolved until after the All-Star game. Who hosts the All-Star game, Bree? I feel like it's down the street from us here in Los Angeles. Have you been to that new arena? It sounds like it's pretty nice. This Intuit Dome. Do you know about it? Yeah, I've been there. They allowed you in, a Phoenix Suns fan? Wow. Well, it's an awkward situation, like asking a Suns fan to grade the Clippers arena. But having the All-Star game there and having this hanging over things, if they haven't come out with a statement or levied punishment, should the Clippers be guilty, that is awkward. Awkward. Is this going to drag into the next offseason? I don't know. I think this is a situation where, and Law Murray kind of alluded to this earlier on with us here on Fox Sports Radio, maybe it's not going to take as long as we think. Maybe here's what you have to do. You either finish, maybe not the week after the All-Star game. That would seem too much like they were holding back information and their findings in the report. If like the day after the All-Star game, all of a sudden the NBA says, hey, we finished the investigation. Just coincidence that it happened right after we got out of the building there. Maybe they wait like a month or two after. Maybe it takes till the off season. The sweet spots are that. And I don't know how sweet that could be for Clipper Nation, because there is that bylaw that says they could suspend a player. And obviously, let's say the Clippers are a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. They're rolling. You get out of the All-Star break and all of a sudden Kawhi Leonard got suspended. That's what the NBA came down with. That would be devastating, the timing of that. But for the NBA's sake, I think the sweet spot is either early on in the season, let's say by December, or next summer. That's probably what we're looking at here, because you don't want it too close to the All-Star game where all the questions at Intuit Dome, instead of celebrating the game, are about, wow, we're in Steve Ballmer's palace and the Clippers just got punished, and that's the story. That is not what the NBA wants. They're trying to, as much as they want to distract from some bad All-Star games, they want to do it by replacing it with a better format. Whether it's USA versus the world, they got a lot of stuff on the table. It still seems like a moving target. What are we doing exactly? 4 mini teams. We have like semifinals games and then the All-Star game final. It's a difficult thing to figure out, I guess, because they haven't been able to do it for a while. And I think people, for the most part, put way too much into an All-Star game. It's an exhibition. The Pro Bowl's gone. Is anybody sad about that? I get it. It's different. It's much more physical. It's hard to do an exhibition game like that. The reason baseball's the best is because guys can go just as hard as they typically do. NBA guys aren't going to do that. I thought there were moments the last few years where some did, some didn't. But this has become a huge talking point by NBA fans and old heads and nostalgia freaks who just want to talk about All-Star games of yesteryear. When I went back to like an All-Star game from 1990, and from the opening play, it was Dennis Rodman, I forget on who, maybe on Magic. Like, wow, they're actually going to play some defense this year, if that plays indicative of anything. So it's like, okay, that means they had a reputation back then in the All-Star game that they also weren't playing defense if it stood out when they actually did play defense for a possession. But the only way it could be worse for the NBA when it comes to the All-Star break is if the place they're playing in, that team is being punished for a scandal like this. That's bad press. Not all pub is good pub for people who have actually made it and are successful already. The NBA is pretty successful. They can pick and choose what stories they would like to be relevant, or they would like this to be spun in a positive light, this All-Star game, and not have it be a backdrop for a bigger story. We shall see. Just my 2 cents on it. The hell do I know? Coming up next, I don't know what's coming up because Bree is leading on Stranger Than Fiction, one of our favorite segments on FNA. I'm Double A. Kevin's out tonight. Osland, I'm in on Fox Sports Radio. This is Fox Football Sunday. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to FSR. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to stop this now. Come listen. Come hither. Fox Sports Radio. I'll toss the link in here. If you want to hear the rest of the show. That was a tease. Did you guys like the story? It's for a national audience in this setting too, so I know some of you were up on the story. Oh my God, there's someone in here with the name Adam Silver. Oh, this is bad. There's the link to the show. I'm going to end the stream. We did a little simulcast. I'm Adam Osland, and you've been listening to Clippers Talk on Fox Sports Radio.